Hi, I'm Chris from airwindows. Don't mind me, I'm trying out a different camera and stuff like that. You can ask questions about any of the things that I'm working on around here. That's kind of the idea. But I also have a plugin to show you. Actually, I've got a couple of them, and I'm going to be doing videos for each. This one is called EveryTrim. Now, this is something that I was asked for. It's pretty direct. You should be able to work out what this is about. I'll get some music going. All EveryTrim is every possible trim in your basic sort of gains and levels and kind of things. Like here's left. I can make left go away. This is dB. Right, go away. It's also a mid-side processor. Here on Logic you can zero things out this way. I can make mid go away. And what we've got now is just side channel stuff. Or I could make the side channel go away. And now we've got all mono stuff. You can kind of see that. See this correlation mirror? Meter? It's not perfect because it's only 12 dB, but it's a trim rather than a complete canceller. But we can make this correlation mirror get a lot wider, like killing mid, and now we've got way more side than we can go pretty much all side if we want. And of course, master is everything all at once. So if you wanted to fiddle with things, for instance, fiddling with a mix or fiddling with the stereo channel, anything like that, then this should be a handy little tool. That's the whole purpose of me making it, is it's meant to be a handy little tool. I forget exactly what the deal was, but somebody was using mid and side, and they asked, can't I have all of these different trims together in an airwindows plugin that has the noise shaping to the 32-bit floating point bus and all of that kind of purest gain type of stuff that I do. And this is pretty much it. This is for setting stuff that you might need to change. Like for instance, that seems to be a little strong on the side, so we'll fix that nicely there. A little strong. Maybe boost some of the side. Supposing that's a little bit too loud, we can cut the master down, or we can bring the master right up. So that's what EveryTrim is for. Oh, sorry, it's a little bit loud. I can fix that. That's what EveryTrim is for. It's for fussing with all these little details in a situation where you have a stereo track, because otherwise mid-side doesn't make any sense. There's not a lot of point to EveryTrim not being in stereo, because it's simultaneously doing these different kinds of, it'll do left and right, but it'll also do mid and side at the same time. And that's pretty simple, really. But it's simple and it doesn't cost you anything. So if this seems like the kind of tool that you could use, I hope you like it. It is supported through my Patreon, and the Patreon's doing pretty good. It's around $700. If it stays over $700, then I bring out an additional plugin each month from the list, sort of the big list that I'm doing. I'd also point out that what with all of my weird stuff and blinky lights and things like this, I'm beginning to do additional videos having to do with some of my more hardware-oriented stuff And I'll be telling you about a website once I get it sort of up and rolling, loaded with things, where it's a catch-all for just all the kinds of stuff that I do audio-wise, whether it be plugins, hardware. You're not going to see stuff about hardware. You're not going to see stuff about my music on the airwindows YouTube or posted in forums and things like that, because the airwindows YouTube channel, the airwindows website, all of that stuff is kind of plugin only. My assumption is that people are there for the plugins. There's lots and lots of those. It's been almost one a week, which I don't think anybody else quite works at that rate. And my assumption is people want it to continue being all about the plugins. But I'm coming out with something else with grander ambitions, and that's going to cover everything from soundproofing of cars to building of synthesizers, building stuff from scratch, hardware stuff from scratch, how to solder. There's just a lot of stuff that I could cover that doesn't fit into airwindows. So more on that as it becomes relevant. Also, my Patreon supporters do hear about this stuff. There's just nowhere else to post it until I get that other website up and running. So if you're not a Patreon supporter, I'm not saying that you can't find these things anywhere else. I am saying that if there's a quickest way to hear about any of these new things, that's probably going to be it. However, plugin-wise, this is EveryTrim, and I hope you like it.